Yo, 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 what's going on, great people in all of the great land? It's your guy, Nicholas Wilcox. It's your main guy, Johnny Mine. We in here, the Fantasy Football Show, title game edition, your DFS, your props, your bets, your last minute start sits, your final questions before we kick things off for championship day. Whatever pinch you're in, whatever spot you're in, we're going to look to help you out in this critical spot for your championships where all the money, all the titles, everything on the line for you. Johnny, say what's up to the great people.
Yo, Merry Christmas. Almost into Happy New Year.
Holidays, Kwanzaa, Boxing Day.
Yeah, we're almost into the new year. But yeah, man, what up? Happy to be here, man. Happy to get ready to get this show rolling for championship weekend, whether you're in a few or a lot, or whether you're just trying to make a little bit of extra bankroll in your DFS or on some props, man. Glad to be here and ready to get the show rolling, bro.
Yes, sir. Yo, bro. Like I said, whatever spot you in, man, we're going to look to help you out today. As the people come in, please like, subscribe to the channel. We try to get to 200 before the season ends. So tell all your people about us, about your favorite fantasy football homeboys. So yeah, we're going to get things started. We're going to get to you guys' questions, whatever have y'all. When they pop through in a timely manner. So again, week 17 in here, baby, title game edition. First things first, we're gonna start with your people. Because you're pretty much in, right? You know what I'm saying? Steelers at the Browns, over under 35.5. You guys are clinched the division officially.
Nope.
Oh, you
nope.
haven't.
Nope.
You did, for real.
Nope.
Did. I wasn't even making a joke. I thought you guys definitely clinched already.
Nope. With the Baltimore win last night.
Still kept things a little alive for them. Yeah. For the division. Well, that being said, Steelers 9-6 going into the Browns over 35.5. The spread is 4.5 for the Steelers. Johnny, break it down, my guy.
No, it shouldn't be a trap game, man. If they win today, then they're in. So really, they got to be rooting for, or not rooting, but the Cleveland Browns have to win today in order for the Ravens and Steelers game to mean something next Sunday. So definitely the Steelers got to take care of business today. No TJ Watt. Browns are kind of banged up, obviously. No Quinshon Judkins, obviously, with that nasty injury for the year. Running back situation for the Browns is a little bit gross. So in comes one, Shedeur Sanders. Is all the Steelers have to do is beat rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders here in week 17 to clinch the AFC North. That's all.
That's all they have to do.
That's it.
Nothing
beat down Browns team. Myles Garrett, obviously, 1 sack away from the sack record, which is obviously another thing that's a big storyline today. And I believe the stat I seen was really crazy. The one quarterback Myles Garrett has not sacked is Aaron Rodgers, ironically enough. So a lot of really? Interesting things. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, because they were in different conferences, obviously, for a long time.
A lot of interesting things going on here. Obviously, no Harold Fannin Jr. today for the Browns, no David Njoku today for the Browns. And the Steelers running backs, man, have been absolutely cooking over the last 2-3 weeks, man. The Steelers right now, they are the only team in the NFL with 2 running backs with 900 plus scrimmage yards. Jalen Warren has 1,128, and Kenny Gainwell has 911 yards so far this season. So Kenny Gainwell quietly one of the best pickups this offseason for any team, really, I would say. But overall, man, this should be a spot where the Steelers should take care of business. No DK Metcalf, obviously, because of the suspension. But this should be a spot where they should handle business. If they don't, this will be very, very disappointing. And the Mike Tomlin critics should come back out again. From a DFS side of things, I'll talk a little DraftKings today, although I'm still playing on FanDuel because that's where I'm rolling hot at. But DraftKings ownership, the Steelers defense, 14.5% right now.
Yeah.
Kenny Gainwell, followed by the Browns defense at 10. That's where we're at. Still waiting, I guess, to get the official no-go on Harold Fanning Jr.
Questionable, yep.
Yeah, still waiting to get the official no-go on him. But if he doesn't pop, then or if he does play, then he will be the highest owned skill player for the Browns. But I think this is a spot where the Steelers should absolutely handle business in this spot. So give me the Steelers in this spot, straight up on the money line. Yeah, man. If you just weird stuff has been happening with Cleveland, man. The last 5 matchups, Cleveland has actually won 2 of the last 5 matchups. The Steelers have won the last 2. But dating back to 2024 and 2023, the Browns actually beat them twice in that space. And then it's also, too, man, they always typically play the Browns at the end of the year when there's not a lot to play for. But, a lot of craziness, man, for sure. So I'm just going to take the Steelers straight up, man. I'm not going to try to get cute. Might do some live betting with it if I see the Steelers come out and they look like they have a little bounce to them. But other than that, right there, man,
they come out really flat.
Well, the one thing I would say too is the Steelers, still have been one of the worst defenses in the NFL when it comes to passing yards. And Shedeur Sanders, for however you want to rate him or whatever it is you want to look at, he's made some plays. So I think this is one of these games where you can't really sleep on him. He's not a crazy athlete, but he does have some awareness in the pocket. So yeah, I'm just going to take the Steelers on the money line and not get cute.
Okay. That makes sense. I'm doing the same thing. This is a big game for the Steelers. They know if they win, they're definitely in, and there's no backdoor way the Ravens can get in, even if they lose to them next week. So, yeah, this is for all the marbles for them in terms of where they need to be. This is the spot they want to be in, controlling their own destiny, win, and you're in. Good morning, Steven. Appreciate the love, my guy. Please like the video. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so over at YouTube, my guy, as well. But we definitely appreciate the Facebook love. But yeah, I think Steelers should win. I think Myles Garrett does get his sack today. It could come early, could come late. But yeah, not a 1-2 punch for the Steelers in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Gainwell definitely proven that he could definitely start for somebody next year if it doesn't work out for the Steelers. It's unfortunate that it's taken them this long to finally get recognition, because I always thought Gainwell was somewhat decent. I feel like other teams, especially the Eagles, stuff like that, always kind of use them as like a scat back. And I always thought he could be a little bit more. So it's good to kind of see Gainwell get some recognition and love. Coaching could be worse. They could be Cleveland, the Jets, the Bills, Washington for that matter. The Bills don't have good coach. That guy's decent coaching. But yeah, I mean, Washington, I don't think they have bad coaching. You know what I'm saying? It's just not their year.
Bad luck.
It's just not their year this year. RIP to some of my fantasy football teams. They didn't make the championship game, which wasn't their year. But that being said, look, yeah, I mean, still should be Steelers all the way. The only thing I'll say is that, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to come out firing. So I think the Browns have just been better at home as a defense. So I think that's something to watch out for. But other than that, yeah, we're waiting on Fannin news to drop for some of y'all out there to play. If for some reason he's ruled out while we're live, if you have some pivots, let us know. To the next game we go to, we got a big spread. The Patriots minus 13.5 going into MetLife to take on the Jets over under 42.5. Yeah, look. Not a lot to say here.
Nope.
There's not a lot to say here.
Nope.
Oh boy, not a lot to say here. I think I gotta see if is Milton Williams playing today for the Patriots. Gotta find that out. No, he won't be active. So I think the Patriots still are in a great spot to shut down any type of run offense the Jets are going to put out there today. Brady Cook starting one more time for the Jets. Like, what a crazy lost season it's been for them. But look, I mean, how about Mac Hollins lately? I think that's somewhere where if you're kind of like in a weird flex spot, you're like,
I don't think he's playing today.
He's not?
Don't think so, man.
Matt Collins not playing today?
Yeah, Matt Collins has been ruled out with an abdomen. I think they actually placed him on IR.
No, wait a
Keyshawn Boutte
minute.
today. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Kyle Williams. Yes, sir.
Well,
Ephraim Chisholm. Yeah. We're here.
I guess that makes sense why a lot of people are picking up Kyle Williams. I don't know how I missed that. Be kind to yourself, Nick. Forget everything I just said. Kyle Williams, he's still out there in your waiver wire. Just go pick him up if you're in a tight spot. Jets have been bleeding, you know what I'm saying, yards all year. This is a great spot for the running game, obviously. So officially cleared is Henderson to play. That was clear. He was clear for concussion protocol. So it's still going to be a 1-2 punch for the Patriots. So I still feel good about starting Henderson if I'm in, especially if I have a couple flex spots to use one of them. I still feel good about Henderson in this spot because he could still get there. We've seen him be electric before. Other than that, again, not much to talk about. We know the Patriots still fighting for that 1 seed in this spot, and win, they will be one step closer to potentially the playoffs going through New England with 1 game left in the year. So we'll just have to find out. But Patriots got to take care of business. I think they will. I'm not touching the spread in this one because although, like you said, division games are always funky. Things can happen out of nowhere. Special teams, especially for the Jets, they've been pretty decent in a few opportunities where they've scored on special teams this year. So just not touching the spread. Just end the season for the Jets, basically. JETS, just end the season. Any thoughts on this one? Any matchups considered for DFS? Do you go there today? Because I don't know. It's one of those situations where I feel like New England could come out swinging early and then just pump the brakes.
I don't have a problem with getting here at all. I think whether it's Drake May or whether it's Ramondre, or Travion or even any of the other pass catchers, I'm totally comfortable getting to the space with any of those guys because I think we all know the Pats are going to win this game, right? So they got to put some points on the board. So I think this one is really just more. Yeah, that's it. How are they going to get there? And there's a lot of inexpensive options when you look at guys like Kyle Williams, like you mentioned. Hunter Henry's another guy you can get there with as far as from a pass catcher side of things. Ephraim Chisholm III, a lot of buzz about him in training camp. This is an opportunity for him to show what he could do, right? Definitely a really good opportunity for sure. Even a guy like Austin Hooper, if you want to pay down in DFS, and you just want to punt the tight end position, you can definitely get there 2,500 on DraftKings. So I'm not afraid of this spot at all for any of the Patriot players at all under any circumstances. Travion Henderson, not a lot of people are playing him, and I'm pretty sure the last time Travion Henderson played the Jets, 32.3 DraftKings fantasy points. So I'm not afraid to go back to the well again with him or Ramondre. So I'm going to take the Patriots in this space here. And then also to the other side of this, Brady Cook, last 2 games, 0-2, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. Jets have lost. The Jets rookie quarterbacks have lost their last 3 versus the Patriots, with the only one to win being one Geno Smith back in 2013. Just to take it way back.
On that one, huh?
Yeah, take it way back. So this is it. This is it. Just in the season.
Appreciate it. Saints, Titans. There's defenses could be played today in this one.
Should be some defense. There should be.
Oh man. So Saints defense runs the 3rd most zone coverage in the NFL. Cam Ward ranks 2nd worst against zone coverage and qualifying quarterbacks this year. So this could be a spot where, just like last week for the Saints, they could put up a ton of sacks, could put up a few interceptions possibly in this spot. So if you have Saints defense, I'm sure you already have them because this was already something that you should have looked forward to having at least stashing with the defense because they had a couple decent matchups for the end of the season. So I think in this spot, the Saints defense, I think I'm gonna take the Saints in this one, just because I just think the defense is gonna be able to get there. Chris Olave is still questionable, but he has been hot lately. But the Titans, they've only allowed a receiver over 75 yards in 4 of the last 5 games. So that's a good, Chris Olave's playing. You're definitely starting him. But I mean, other than that, I mean, if you have Tyler Shuck in a super flex, you're definitely starting him in this spot. Again, the Titans defense has just been Swiss cheese for the most part. I just think that still rolls in this spot, even though Titans are at home. Like, they got that one little, I feel like they looked okay last week, obviously, because it wasn't the Chiefs team we've seen before. And they were down to a 3rd stringer last week. Thanks, Gardner Minshew, for tearing your ACL.
Right.
Like literally joining Mahomes in the freaking bed, like, hey, my guy, like,
dude,
rough. Yeah, it was definitely wild to see. I'm like, wow, okay. So, Saints in this spot, like, yeah, I think I'm gonna take them pretty easily in this spot. No Kamara, obviously. So, do we see Taysom Hill? Do we start Taysom Hill today, Johnny? Do we start Taysom Hill?
I'm glad I don't have to deal with this. I've only got 2 leagues. So in the 2 leagues that I've got, one of them I don't have to worry. The only thing that would save me in one of these leagues would be if LaDainian Tomlinson came out of retirement, and prime Randy Moss would be the only thing that would save me in that league. Is I'm what I hate about everything in fantasy football. Like I told you, 5 and 6 seeds. Yeah, that's right, baby. That's right. Nephew. That's right, baby. We should get you out there on that field. The Cowboys are not going to the Super Bowl, okay? You need to let that go. That died on Christmas Day.
Yeah. Died before that.
Yeah. Listen, show up and do better, okay? Talk to Jarrell, all right? I love you, though. Yeah, like, I'm glad I don't have to worry about that, man, because that's a really tough situation to be in. Audric Estime didn't do jack squat last week. Taysom Hill was getting – was throwing the ball, was running the ball. Yeah, I don't want to be in this situation. If you tell me Taysom Hill, or I can listen to it, but just to go out and independently play Taysom Hill, man, I don't want to say what it's like, but it's like taking a dive out there on the deep end. You never know what you're going to get. That's for sure. So, yeah. What did he make? Did he make your rankings?
Yeah. I think you start Taysom Hill. Reasons for it is because in some spots, especially if you were just been hurting at tight end, literally, tight end just always a spot where you can, be okay taking a 0 or okay taking a swing for defenses. I think tight end could bring that to you, especially a guy like Taysom Hill, who is multifaceted, can get there in multiple ways depending on what it is. And of course, like, there's the possibility of him just flunking out, but most tight ends do that for you anyway. Most cases, like for instance, I started Jake Ferguson, touchdown, woohoo, and then hurt rest of the game. So I'm like, great, thanks for showing up. So, I'm just telling people, if you got Taysom Hill and there's some certain tight ends that are just not moving the bill for you, yeah, this is a spot where Taysom Hill can win you championships today. Because whether it be running the ball, throwing the ball, you know what I'm saying, catching the ball. It's like he's very multifaceted. And again, like, I'm not banking on the Saints not having a run game in this one, but I do expect Taysom Hill to make some type of mark in this one. So if you have him, I believe you start him at, the tight end position today. He's definitely someone that's like he's a top 8 tight end for me this week. So start him. Next on the list, we have the Jaguars taking on the Colts. Take this stupid thing off. Over under 46.5. The Jags are favored by 5.5. Yeah. Colts. Phillip Rivers starting the rest of the year in this spot. Your boy Trevor Lawrence on a heater. Is he going to bring home championships this week? Is he going to bring home the bacon? Bring home the money? Complete whole. Yeah,
I don't see why not. He's been the hottest quarterback in the NFL literally over the last 6 weeks. There hasn't been anybody playing any better football than him. So for me, I think like it's really hard for me to say, like, after seeing what Brock Purdy did against his 49ers, against the Colts, it's hard for me to say, all right, well, Trevor Lawrence is not going to go out here and smash stuff up. I find that very, very, very hard to believe today. So like I am definitely playing Trevor Lawrence. It's odd now because his ownership and his price tag is caught up with him. His play almost a lot of people on Jacoby Myers, excuse me, which means that I'm forced to go to Brian. So don't really want to do that. Brenton Strange is obviously in play as well today. I like that. There's not a lot I don't like about the Jaguar skill players today in any respect. So for me, I'm totally comfortable playing a chalky Trevor Lawrence today. Totally comfortable with it. Again, like it's hard for me to get away from it. It's hard for me to say no, like I'm not, or I don't want to play Trevor Lawrence. But I mean, again, hasn't been outside of the top 12. Actually, he's had one finish outside the top 12 since week 9. So back-to-back number 1, number 2 weeks. Again, like the proof is in the pudding. Trevor Lawrence is the guy that's going to win fantasy championships. And, for everybody that had him as a sleeper, well, better late than never. You know what I mean? Better late than never. And like at this point, who would have thought? And granted, the Patrick Mahomes injury is what kept him out of that space, right? But who would have thought that it would have made more sense to draft him over Lamar Jackson, over a Baker Mayfield, over a Peyton? I mean, you could even almost make the case over a Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts. Like he's in that neighborhood. He's top 5.
Well, he was definitely drafted after those guys too, though. Like big time too, right?
Or so it's in some places, man. Some places, yeah, some places, right? Just really wild, man. Just to see like what has transpired with him. And Liam Cohen, man, it looks like he's got the juice. So give me the Jags today, man, in this spot. Give me all the Jags skill players that I can handle. I'm even messing with the Jags defense too, because I think that's kind of a low-key spot. I know fantasy managers, season-long managers are really banking on Jonathan Taylor today. If you're still hanging around, God bless you. Yeah, I'm going to take the Jags here in this space, man, overall. And then as far as like injuries or anything like that right there, just to kind of hit on for you, there's not a lot of craziness that we can see right now. So I guess we'll have to wait for the official.
Sauce Gardner's playing today.
Yeah, Sauce is playing. We'll have to wait for the official injury report, which I think like the Sauce Gardner playing, like that could be something where, he's following around one of those receivers. So who knows? But the 49ers had their way with things in the middle of the field last week. So I expect the Jags to have a very similar game.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, look, starting Travis Etienne today?
Yeah, I got no problem playing. Like I said, I got no problem playing any of these Jags players today. Even in some of my DFS builds, I even have some lineups that have Lawrence, Etienne, Myers, Strange. Like I'm playing on FanDuel. I think you can play up to 4 players from one team. There's definitely a couple lineups I have that have 4 Jaguars in that spot.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, I'll just say this. Brenton Strange, man. Brenton Strange, it's got to be his time. Man. It's got to be his time. It has to be. It has to be his time. Colts have been trash against tight ends, allowing the second most receiving yards to opposing tight ends. So, yeah, like it has to be Brenton Strange's moment today. I know there's other weapons for the Jags, but I think you starting Strange with pretty much confidence. And like I said before, like usually what happens, like, the Jags, like the reason why they're also Trevor Lawrence been lighting up, you know what I'm saying? But it's like sometimes in the last 2 games, it's like in spots where they've been pushed, you know what I'm saying? Like other guys emerge, part of Washington. Should be Brenton Strange today for sure. So definitely telling people to be starting Brenton Strange today. Other than that, yeah, I got the Jags in the spot. I think they wrap it up today. Oh well, they don't necessarily wrap it up.
No, the Texans, yeah.
The Texans were looking really good last night. Yeah, so cooking up those Chargers. So I'll have to look at the standings in a moment to find out what is happening. But I think so the Jags win. it's still what? So
The Texans.
There's still a game up on the Texans for the finals for the division round, and then the Texans right now they're technically in already. It's now about pretty much if they get the division or not. So if the Jags losing this spot, yeah, the Texans have an opportunity to get them next week. So we'll have to see how that all unfolds. But I mean, yeah, other than that, the AFC is pretty much wrapped up. The only thing that's coming about is obviously what we talked about earlier, Steelers and Ravens for the division crown, and the loser is out. So that's pretty much AFC picture. Other than that, the overall picture here really is that So again, New England wins this week. It's going to be pretty much whoever. I think that will come down to if they finish with the same record, who holds that tiebreaker then?
If who finishes with the same record?
Broncos and the Patriots. I'm curious to find that out now because if they finish with the same record, I wonder I forgot how the tiebreaker works. Is it by
Denver? So here's the scenario. So Denver can clinch the number 1 seed. I know you're asking about the tie. Denver can clinch the number 1 seed with a Patriots loss, plus a Bills loss or tie or Jags loss. The Pats can clinch. Pats clinch the AFC East today just with a win plus a Bills loss or a Bills tie. So like that's what we got. Like, is that the Colts are officially the Colts are definitely out. Yeah, they're officially out. And then for the AFC, Pittsburgh, they win today just with they win the North with a tie, with a win or a tie. So really, that's really what it shakes down to. Like at this point, is that, and then Denver. Let's see, Denver, they got the top seed. They might even have it Sunday. So the remaining schedule, they got the Chargers next week, and then the Pats are in, and so they have obviously the Jets and the Dolphins, which has really no meaning. Jags have Colts and Titans. So I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see what the tiebreaker is. I'm not in the weeds on it.
So that's okay. It's all good. It's just to give people context because it's certain spots and certain players that you could still play or not. All right, cool. They're still fighting for something. Or okay, these.
Well, they still are. They still are. All of them are.
Money,
well, not even but just from the rank, like you said, just from the ranking side of things. There's so many different. There's so many different things that could happen. And so really, it's just all right. And from what I'm looking at here is if it's on NFL.com, it's if there's 2 clubs in the head-to-head best record, best win-loss percentage in those games between the clubs. This is with 2 teams. There's more variables than I think we have time for to go over.
No, I know, right?
way more variables. So I think we just need to let this week play out and then we can actually get there because it's a full page of within the division, tie break for a wild card team with 2 teams or 3 teams. Or other tie-breaking procedures,
and we can talk about talk about those scenarios for sure. But it's there's a lot there's still a lot going on. So, but that being said, next game we got Bucks Dolphins. Miami, huh? Devon Achane. You already know where it is. Man, need Devontae to show. Need Devon Achane to show up today. Against a Bucks defense that is more susceptible to receiving running backs versus they're still a tough defense stopping a run, but it's something where Miami is going to have to they better learn their lesson from last week. That's all I got to say. Just keep peppering the guy. Keep peppering Devon Achane's game plan. Okay, but in all realness, Bucks still have an opportunity to clinch not clinch division, but to win, and they still have an opportunity to face Carolina for the final spot for the NFC from a division standpoint. Lose, they're out. So no. Sorry, I take that back. Carolina plays Seattle. So that being said, if Carolina loses, the Bucks win. It's a fight for the final. It's a fight between those two one more time, and that means this time it's for the division. If Carolina wins today, they clinch the division today, because the Bucks wouldn't have a shot at catching them if they lose today. So all systems go for the Bucks today. I feel like we've been saying this on repeat the last several weeks, though, and it's like it just feels like they come up flat and short in all this. So yeah, look, do I expect the Bucks to win? Yeah, but it's like one of those lessons. They're like, yo, this team again, or these players again, really? Doesn't it feel like that? I feel like we've been talking about these Bucks the last several weeks. They're in a spot that they have to win, and they don't, right? Or am I like, or this feels like deja vu?
No, I think the thing about it is over the last 4 weeks, all the games that they've lost, they have been one possession games. Arizona, they beat Arizona 2017. Excuse me. They lost to the Saints 20-24, lost to the Falcons 28-29, lost to the Panthers 20-23. So I think they are, they're losing one possession games. Is what it is. They're just not closing. And this is basically an interstate game, obviously. So it's not like they're on the road, like big time or anything crazy like that.
Interesting
right
was the word, though.
Yeah. And Baker Mayfield, man, really since from weeks 1 through week 10, 99.2 passer rating. And then since then, it's been 72.6 since week 11. That's 29th out of 31 qualified quarterbacks. And the only two people that he is ahead of, Shador Sanders and Brady Cook. So definitely hard times for sure for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I do think if this has got to be the spot for him, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be the spot for him.
So is Bucky gonna finally show us what hold on. I'm so sick of these Bucks using Sean Tucker, and he's talented, inside the 10-yard line consistently.
Leap year.
You're killing me. You're killing all of us to have Bucky. I've been waiting all this time for Bucky. And you're not feeding him the ball? This has to be today. It has to be.
Like I said, leap year, man. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all, man. I don't. I don't trust it. Obviously, like I said, the year did not go exactly how I designed it, but one of the things that I did do is I did not have any shares of Bucky Irving anywhere. I don't.
Moment, huh?
Yeah, I don't. No, I just don't.
You didn't have
you were just asking about Sean Tucker, and I'm just like, this is there was a couple guys that I just no. But anyway, man, yeah. Am I going to play Bucky Irving today in DFS? Absolutely. Just because I think the game environment should be a pretty decent one from that side of things. I can't remember the last time Bucky Irving actually scored a rushing touchdown. I'm not even trying to be funny this season, but the pass catchers for the Bucks, they all got to be in place. You think from a DFS side of things, right? Outside of Mike Evans, the rest of these guys are in play. And man, what? Geez, bro, freaking Emeka. What happened? What has happened with him over the last few, man? Since week 10 was the last time he even had a serviceable game, and that was wide receiver 2. All the rest in week 11, wide receiver 39, 46, 42, 70, 38, 72. Yeah, man.
It fell off the face of the earth, yo.
For sure. For sure.
We were singing his praises. We were taking victory laps, literally on Emeka.
I was sprinting. I wasn't taking laps. I was sprinting. I was taking,
waving a towel. Ooh,
yeah.
And now it's
yeah. I think the other call out, for you and your guy Devon Achane is really just the passing game work. I've talked about talked about it last week. What his stats were without Tua.
Yep.
I think that's still something to keep an eye on. He's still going to produce, right? In season long, I think you're still totally fine. I just worry about him a little bit, like on the DFS side of things. Like he still has the ability to take one to the house at any single given moment. Like, but it's really kind of scary to see like what's going on here. Like you have one team that is playing for something, and the other team isn't playing for anything. And like, obviously, I would go out on a limb and say that it feels like the Miami Dolphins are going to have a different head coach next year. So obviously, Devon Achane is the star of the Miami Dolphins. So, again, talked about it a few weeks ago when we already kind of seen it, not to jump ahead to any other games or anything, but we already seen it with guys like Brock Bowers, how they've already, like, they're sitting him, right? Like, this is a place where, like,
you called this.
Yeah.
In a way. You called this. Like,
talk
about this, maybe about a month ago. I think someone had a question about trading for Bowers or something like that.
That was my biggest fear. Biggest fear of trading for a guy.
Oh, kudos to you, yo.
No, man. Like that. Those are just always like my biggest fears of like having really good players on bad teams. But then the fact like when they get hurt in season and then they don't have anything to play for, like then Max Crosby, right. Like so what's in, like you seen the Giants soft quitting last week. So like
literally.
I don't know. But in this game, like you gotta take the Bucs in this game. And to your point, man, like if the Bucs win, essentially from a playoff side of things, if the Bucs win, they live to fight another day. This does give them the opportunity to go into next week to be able to play the Panthers for the NFC South crown, which will be interesting again in itself. So yeah, give me the Bucs today, man, and hopefully Baker Mayfield finally has a bounce back game.
Take the Bucs straight up. We'll go on this ride again, even though we may know how it ends.
Listen, I'll tell you what, man. Like before you go to the next game, I will say this: if the Bucs lose today, Todd Bowles, man, that seat's gonna be pretty damn hot. Gonna be pretty hot, man. I listen, but that's the reality of the situation, man. This is a team that, like, you think about it, like, the last 2 years, like, this has been a very, very good football team, and like, they like obviously losing Liam Cohen, like, all right, cool, like, and I think we can see like the impact like losing like really, really, really great offensive coordinators has on teams. Detroit Lions. You can see like what that looks like, but I think like, I'm not saying he's going to get fired, but I'm just going to say this: it's definitely up for discussion because Todd Bowles, for as much as you like him or whatever the case may be, having Tom Brady at quarterback makes your life a lot easier, right? For sure. And having a guy like Liam Cohen also makes your life a lot easier. So to be continued.
Totally. Last few notes. This Bucs team has allowed at least 2 touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks in 8 straight games. That's how bad it is.
If he does it, oh, golly.
If Ewers does it today, good Lord. The other part is that the Bucs have been susceptible to tight ends. They've allowed at least 40 yards and a touchdown to opposing tight ends in 3 of the last 5 games. So wheels up for Darren Waller if you got him today.
Yes.
If you should have had him a couple weeks ago because we told y'all he had decent matchups coming. So I wrote about him several times. So hope you have him. If you have him, you're starting him today. Next game. Seahawks going into Carolina. Take on the Panthers. 42.5 over under. Look. It's crazy that like Seattle is 12-3 and may not even sniff. You know what I'm saying? May not even sniff the 1 seed. It's totally possible it could still happen. But at the same time, they're currently at 1 seed right now. So that's all that happens right now. But according to the playoff picture right now, Green Bay is somehow still the 7th seed. They're still somehow the 7th seed in the NFC. But in terms of how the playoff picture goes, Seattle wins, and they are officially the 1 seed. Just double checking to make sure that's the case. Just to make sure. But yeah, they win, they are the 1 seed. So I take back what I said earlier. They are officially the 1 seed if they win, which is wild because no one thought Seattle was going to be 12 or 13 wins. We all thought they were going to be 10, maybe 11, right? if Darnold was hitting all cylinders, but could go 13-3, could go 14-3. Like, that's something to say. But breaking down this game, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this carousel between Walker and Charbonnet, man. It is literally hell. Like, it's literally hell, yo. Because I dropped Kenneth Walker in one of my leagues late just because I was like, you know what, I'm sick. And guess who goes off last week?
Kenny Walker.
Yep. Figures.
Yeah.
Figures.
Yep.
Figures. And funny, if I probably would have started him, would have probably would have won my matchup too. Because Henderson got concussed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny. And guess what? I let Genty on my bench as well. So I was pure at running back in that league. Fun times. Enough of my soapbox.
Yeah.
How do you see this game unfolding? Seattle going to win this one, put Carolina in a tough spot for next week, or is Carolina going to pull off this upset? Because I think they have all the ingredients to do so. They've done it at home a couple times already for Carolina, but we've seen them literally falter to the Saints twice. So how are you seeing this?
For me, man, I've been a 12th man all year long. not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop now. Not gonna stop now. Yeah, like you're asking about this. Like we've seen a very similar scenario play out last year with Sam Darnold as the Minnesota Vikings quarterback.
Yeah, we
going into the last week of the season, having the opportunity to snag a number 1 seed overall. So we have seen this before. We've seen this story before. I just think, honestly, man, the Seahawks have too much defensively for these guys. However, one of the things that I will say is kind of like a caveat. One of the things I've tried to start paying attention to more, like picking games and stuff, is just seeing how some of these other teams handle other teams. Like example, how the Panthers and the Rams played. Like the Panthers handling NFC West teams. Like seeing how they handle these type of teams. So, I mean, obviously they were able to pull off a win against the Rams, right? But the Seahawks, they pulled off a win against the Rams as well. But the Seahawks were at home. I just think Seattle has too much defensively, for sure. And then again, man, like you mentioned, the 2 running backs for Seattle, not the problem. The good news for the Seahawks is they have great running backs. The bad news is for fantasy managers, they have 2 great running backs. That's the bad news. So for me, I just think they have too much for them, right? I'm going back and looking to the 49ers, they were able to handle the Panthers. And I think even for the Rams, right? The weather, I think, played a role in that game for sure. Seattle still running the ball more than anybody in the league from a percentage side of things. So it's hard for me not to like Seattle in this game, man. It's really hard for me to. I think Carolina can hang around. If they can hang around, can they make a couple of plays here and there? Absolutely. But I think for me, I think Chuba Hubbard's a guy to watch for me today, from a DFS side of things. He's a guy for me to watch. I think the Rico Dowdle experiment, I don't want to say the experiment, but I just think in this game environment, I don't know if this works best for him. I think Chuba Hubbard actually, this is a game environment that works for him, obviously being a pass catcher. Both the receivers in this game, you have the league leader in receiving yards overall in JSN, and then you have the rookie leading receiver. Let's talk about Ted McMillan for a little bit. Let's talk about
that's questionable though.
Yeah, it's an illness. He's going to play through it. It's all came through. It's more precautionary than anything. But let's just talk about the fact that one of the things, one takeaway, I think everybody should have is just not reading into every single tea leaf there is about guys like this. Because Ted McMillan can play football, man. This guy is good. He's good. And there were people that were questioning how good he was going to be or how good was he in real life. And he's in a low volume passing offense, and you're seeing what he can do. And when you go back and look at some of the things that he was just doing at the collegiate level, how he was manhandling DBs, that's what you're supposed to do. So, shout out, man, Ted McMillan on putting together a really great rookie season for sure. 924 yards at this point, 31% of the Carolina Panthers receiving yards. That's the fourth highest mark by any rookie on a winning team since the 1970 merger. So Ted McMillan is getting busy and has been getting busy. And I think, obviously, hey, going into next year, he's somebody that, like, you got to put some respect on his name. But, yeah, I like the Seahawks in this game, man, for sure.
Got me. But in this spot, I think Seattle is like, yeah, like I just can't stand Carolina. they really, like, they're one of those teams, man, that just literally, like, you don't expect them to have a great game. They all of a sudden have a great game and win. You know what I'm saying? They're like the team that this year has, like, literally killed people's probably, like, parlay tickets left and right.
You killed my survivor. Killed my survivor.
Yeah,
actually, you know what I
cool and stuff too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it. Yeah. So everything on paper says Seattle too,
Yeah.
And Carolina knows if they win, they have the division, right?
Yeah. Well, no, they don't have. I don't think. No, they don't have the division, even if they win. I don't think.
They wouldn't. Oh, sorry. Yeah, because
no, they don't. Yeah, so, like, no matter what, it's yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I feel like no. Yeah, the Bucks have to still lose today. But
Carolina's 5-2 at home, by the way, this year. That was the other thing I wanted to check and see. It was just like their home record, because it seems like they've gotten a couple of really big wins at home.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, like that's. Yeah, I mean, and their losses this year. Like, their loss was to Buffalo, and the other loss was to New Orleans. So, wins at home this year: Tampa Bay, the Rams, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, and the Falcons. So, not really anything to, like, write home about.
But no, still taking Seattle. It just feels like, I just hate these moments, because it's like, well, come on, hours later, it'd be like, we knew we should have taken Carolina plus 6.5. We knew we should have taken Carolina at home, but I'm gonna have faith in Seattle. They're gonna get this done, clinch the 1 seed, so they don't have to really play next week. And we'll go from there. Last game of the 1 o'clocks, the biggest over/under spread of the slate. Cardinals getting 7 going to Cincinnati. Over/under 53.5. Yeah, these teams aren't playing for much outside paychecks. But I really think, like, call it nuts, but Brissett is potentially playing for a starter role next year. Whether it be in Arizona or not, because Brissett has literally proven himself worthy. That he's the guy that is, like, veteran-wise, like, I think is what Arizona needs moving forward. And I know they've had some bad luck in certain spots this year. So I don't think, like, the team reflects their record right now. Obviously, it's their definition of what the record is right now. But as far as, like, having them play, I feel like Arizona for next year, all they need is that. Literally, it's ironically both of these two teams are playing, because they're both of these defenses, like, stink. At least throughout the whole year, they've stunk. So it's something to watch out for just for next year, and then what happens with Kyler Murray. But anyhow, to the game overall, right? Speaking of guys that have been before last week in a way, although he's been consistent, been a thorn in people's sides. The guy that scored 3 touchdowns last week, Chase Brown. The Cardinals have allowed 100 all-purpose yards to opposing running backs in 5 of the last 6 games. So Chase Brown. Yeah, Chase Brown. And questionable is Marvin Harrison Jr., right?
Same deal as last week.
Last week. Like, look, like, Cincinnati, we know has been decent against wide receiver, like, ones. So it'll be interesting to see if Marvin Harrison plays and if they try to take him away, or is it more like they focus on Michael Wilson, who's been absolutely on a heater outside, like, pretty much the one game Marvin Harrison played that game and he came back, and then Michael Wilson didn't have it. But Wilson ranks 5th when it comes to man coverage. He's 5th in win rate against man coverage. And the Bengals play the 3rd most man coverage in the league. So, yeah. So officially, Marvin Harrison Jr. is active. So I guess my thinking, and I'm going to ask your thinking, excuse me, on what you do with the situation. Because from a DFS side of things, Marvin Harrison Jr., at least on DraftKings, 5,400. And then we know he hasn't been like the 100%. Is 5,400 a good price tag to be like, all right, I'm just going to see how this goes in a game that's over-undered? I don't think his ownership's going to be crazy either.
It's not.
So, and then Michael Wilson, 6,400. So it's just a spot where do you think they key in on Michael? Of course, they're keying on Trey McBride, obviously. They're going to try to slow him down as best as possible, right? But it's, again, against wide receiver ones, they've been really decent against. But again, man coverage is where they got exposed the most. So what are you saying to all this? And obviously the Cincinnati side of things, like we already know what it is. It's Burrow. It's Chase. It's Chase Brown. It's T. Higgins. I think he's playing, right?
T. Higgins is playing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, this is Trey McBride season, man. Like the Bengals are already the worst defense in the NFL in the history of the NFL with 2 games left versus tight ends. So why would the best tight end in the entire universe not smash? Like
yeah,
like that's really what that boils down to. Like for me, that's what I think anyway, is that yeah. So like like Trey McBride all day long. I will say this, and the only reason why like I really remember this, and the moment like I looked at this game, I was like, oh man, I remember this.
7,500 on DraftKings for McBride today.
Yeah, don't matter. I'm playing him.
AK, right?
Yeah, I don't care. I'm playing him. I'm playing him on. I'm not even playing DraftKings.
Easy button.
Yeah, I'm not. But I'm absolutely playing him on FanDuel. I think he's 8,000 on. I don't even care. I'm playing him, especially coming off of a subpar performance that he had. Like I'm playing Trey McBride today. Not even thinking about it.
You're gonna scream it.
Yeah, like not.
You gotta scream it.
I'm playing Trey McBride, the real T-Mac. And the last time that Jamar Chase played in Arizona, 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. Just something to think about. Yeah. And that was in 2023 for whatever it's worth, right? But like, still think there's a lot of residual. Yeah, still think there's a lot of residual there in Arizona. So like, that's one of the things I'm like, yeah, we got to figure out a way to make this happen. And like, obviously the rest of the general public agrees. Jamar Chase is 37% owned, or projected 37% owned. Trey McBride's projected 25%. I think the real question really is if you go and you try to stack this game, who are you rolling with? Are you rolling with Jacoby Brissett, or are you rolling with Joe Burrow? I think that's a real question. Chase Brown, I think like that's a great play, like for sure. I even think Michael Carter's a great play because just the Bengals have just been bad on defense. Like, so I think like there's definitely, I love this game environment. There was 3 games that I was definitely aggressively attacking today, and this one was one of them. And then the Buccaneers Dolphins was the other game that I was aggressively attacking. So yeah, man, like I love everything about this game. It's hard for me to get away from it, which makes me really nervous because the general public is in the same space, which means that it's probably going to be the Saints and Titans that shoot out today is probably what's going to happen. So, but yeah, like as far as like when, like, and I know like you've been banging the drum for Jacoby Brissett to be a starter. Question I would say like, right, is like, all right, like where, there's
several spots.
But just like first 2 or 3 spots, you think?
Miami. He could start in Arizona. He's already been doing it. The last spot would be a little bit more trickier, because I think the other teams I'm thinking about is kind of more like they're still like ways away from like really being competitive. Like I would say potentially the Jets, but at the same time, it's like we're not there yet. I think the other spot, I think you can start in Minnesota just based on what we saw from JJ McCarthy. Like, I don't know. What we've seen is like a mixed bag. That's a longer shot. But, I'm thinking just like other teams, like I think that's probably what I got for you at like on top of my head. But I think like those will be the spots. Like I think Miami we'll see what they want to do. But it's something where they might just hit the whole reset button. They might trade Chan the offseason, like they were somewhat rumbling to kind of do. Trade him to Seattle was a weird rumor. So
in Pittsburgh,
we'll see. Yeah, well, that could happen.
Yeah. But no, I just like I just like.
You think Aaron Rodgers goes one more, like for sure after this season?
I think depending on how it goes. I think depending on how it goes, he's in his bag right now, for sure. So we'll see how it goes. But no, I just was curious, man. But like as far as like the game straight up picking, I'm gonna take the Bengals, like for sure. I want to take the over in this game because it just feels like there's no way it doesn't get over. And like you mentioned, like playing for stuff. Jacoby Brissett is still playing for, he's playing because that's his job. Burrow and Chase, those guys, like they're like I think right. I think like Burrow and Chase and those guys, I think they're playing like Burrow's obviously the catalyst for this. So by him going out and saying like, hey, like I'm gonna play, I want to play no matter what. This is just getting buy-in from his teammates, right? And I think like as much as I don't love the Bengals obviously being on record, I think that says a lot about him just in general, just, anytime like he can get out there to play, no matter what the injury is, he's going out there and playing. So hats off and much respect to him for sure. I know Kyler's only got one more year left for sure. That's why I was like, I'm curious just because I don't know, man. I don't buy into the Jacoby Brissett as a starting quarterback. I think maybe like as a bridge quarterback, like as you mentioned, like, yeah, that could be the case. But like I'm just having a hard time in my mind envisioning a head coach coming in, taking a job and going, that's the guy right there. Like that's the guy that's going to, get me to where I need to be at. And then obviously then you're banking on, whatever happens in the draft. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I do think Minnesota, like if he went to Minnesota, I would feel a lot better about him being in Minnesota than I would any of those other spots. But those other spots, like I feel like, he would just be, he would be damning himself going to any of those other spots. But
okay. I mean, look, it's fair to say that he might not be like QB1 starter. I just feel like he overall is someone that like I feel deserves the opportunity to, just like what we talked about with Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? Like how he got like kind of his overall rhythm. He was signing. He got to start with a team that was like, kept KOC. You know what I'm saying? Was like a guy that molds quarterback. So Sam Darnold, I kind of classify him as like the, when we looked at Geno Smith a couple years ago, when we looked at Darnold a couple years ago, like he's just seen them reinvent their careers. So it's like I do think that holds some weight, and I do think that he deserves an opportunity to go like still be a potential starter somewhere, because he's proven that again they haven't gotten the wins, but it's something where statistically putting the numbers up, like they've been there. But Cincy covering or
yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not?
He's like, why not? Why not? Why not? And then. So yeah, as far as like outside McBride, who else are you in? Or who else are you in? Chase Brown's in this spot for you?
Oh yeah, this is the game for me. Like I'm playing all of these guys like in some respect or some capacity. Like they're all making my lineups. T. Higgins, like yeah, like they all are. Like I've even got a couple of lineups that have Samaje Perine in them. Got a couple Mike Gesicki's like paying down the tight end. Like this is the game. Like I don't know how it's not the game. The only way it's not the game is if I've got this one, like I said, I've got Cardinals and Bengals, Bucks and Dolphins, Jags and Colts are the three games that like I really, really am heavily invested in today.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. To the 4 o'clock window, we don't have as many games because of, the schedule, this crazy, wacky schedule for the NFL, them trying to take over Christmas and stuff. But yeah, it's still the NBA, bro. Giants, Raiders. Yeah, there's a ton to talk about here, right? Who's going to be the number one seed, basically, here, right? When I mean number one seed, we're talking about who's going to finish number uno overall for their draft pick. Yeah, look, I think from a You could get a little different, obviously, in this spot between these two teams from a DFS side of things. Look, the Giants have allowed 7 touchdowns to an opposing running back the last 5 games. Is it Genty season or what? Is it Genty season or what, yo?
I don't know if I'm a hater, but I don't know if I don't know if I'm like, man, to see this man showing up at almost 40% owned, almost 50% on FanDuel. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? What could go wrong when they have sat their best offensive player? They sent their best defensive player home, and you have Ashton Genty in week 17 against the team who could also be after the number 1 pick. 47%. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Nothing could possibly go wrong in this scenario. Nothing.
Yo, man.
That's it. That's my rant.
Are you playing Genty today?
I'm playing him. You don't have a choice but to play him because of the price tag. But like at 40% on, I'm not getting over the field in max entry at over 45% on. Like, no, like I'll knock it down to like 20. I think obviously like he's a cash play, like, right? Like he's definitely like the price tag on him, like you can't not play him. Right. I agree. Like this is screaming to you that like something is going to go off the rails here in this game. And I say that because if you look, and I'm just looking at DraftKings now, because I've already did my FanDuel stuff, but like if you look, like Ashton Genty is 6,100. So all right, so let's just say a couple of running backs here in the same space. Travion Henderson or Ashton Genty? Bucky Irving, Ashton Genty. Dare I even say Tony Pollard and Ashton Genty?
No.
Wait. Tyrone Tracy, because you want to talk about how bad the Raiders have been equally just as bad. And then when you talk about Tony Pollard, who no, I'm not a Tony Pollard fan. Over the last 3 weeks, Tony Pollard has been the best running back in football. He's been the best fantasy running back in football. So what could possibly go?
Tony Pollard?
Tony Pollard has got, I just had it here. Tony Pollard, I think, has 361 yards from week 13 to week 16.
We're talking total yards?
Rushing yards. Tony Pollard had 361 yards for Tony Pollard over the last.
Am I in Bizarro World or something? Like
you might be in Bizarro World. But that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So like
he's rushed for 100 yards the last 3 straight games, dude.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Shout out to Stranger Things in the Upside Down world at 40-something%.
Yo, that is
play him.
Wow.
Play him. I triple dog dare y'all to play him. And play a lot of them too, please. Although I'm not gonna front, man. That performance last week was kind of crazy. Man. I'm a hater, but I ain't stupid. That was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah.
You used to admit that on national television.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll be national television one day. But
yeah, man. Yeah, I'll be hating on fantasy players all the time, man. Yo, straight up. I hate Chase Brown. Straight up.
I can't. So who you got? Who you got in this matchup?
You know what? I'm about to get ready to do something I've never done on this show before.
Whoa!
I'm going with a tie. Yep. You heard it here.
I feel like I influenced that one on you.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
I've done it before on the show.
No, I'm taking a tie.
You hope it ends in a tie. Wait,
I don't hope it ends in a tie. Again, one team tanked on the field, and the other team just said, "Screw it!" Like we don't even want to try to win. So we're going to take our two best players off the field, not even play them. And one of the guys wants to play, like got pissed because he's not playing. Yeah, this game's going to end in a tie.
Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. 6-7. Give me the Giants. Give me the Giants. Now I'll take them to cover. No Max Crosby, and this defense for the Raiders is no bueno, yo. Like literally last week, Max Crosby, like literally, like I think he like saved a touchdown because of how like he was just chasing after the play. Like there's a replay of him just like coming back into the fold out of nowhere and literally does like the lion tackle at him. You know, like a lion comes and just like he's just like goes all out to tackle the guy. Like otherwise, would have probably had a touchdown.
Yeah,
just nuts. Final game: Eagles, no Bills, 2.5 underdog. The Eagles going into Buffalo. Over under 44.5. Patriots officially got the division, right? It's official right now, or I could have sworn that it's not official because they're both in the playoffs, obviously, but it's not official it's not official for the division yet. So, Bills need to win in order to keep pace with the Patriots for the division crown and to host a playoff game. Eagles on the other end, they have already clinched the division, and all they're playing for right now is basically the seeding. So there's that. Be interesting to see how this game actually unfolds because do we expect the Saquon Barkley game once again? Because we all know the Bills have been absolute trash against run. But I'll say this, like, expect the unexpected. I know you're facing him against some of your you got to face against him at championship game today.
Oh, man. He ain't even the face of that team. He ain't even the face of that team, right? He ain't even the face of it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Who you got in this spot? Who you got?
The Eagles. The Eagles, I'm taking them for sure. I think this game just matches up better for them for what it is that they want to do. Just being incredibly physical. You know, and again, man, like seeing what other running backs have done to the Bills and like, you know, quietly Saquon Barkley is, I don't want to say he's coming along or anything like that right there, but
yeah,
the last couple of games haven't been like bad for him. Like he's got 3 straight games in double digits, 21 points, 17 points, and 24 points. So he's beating up on the bad teams like at this point. So maybe it's just a situation where he's just now getting revved up, right? Like we've seen it happen with Derrick Henry last night. Before last night, it wasn't anything to write home about with Derrick Henry. You know, he's still very serviceable, like in the fantasy space, just like Saquon Barkley. But I think this game right here, I think this is a statement game for the Eagles, right? And I think it's a game for the Bills where like the Eagles are still the defending Super Bowl champs, right? And the Bills are saying, hey, like, you know, we belong, but I think like the general public knows they don't. And I think this is just a spot for the Eagles just to go out and let them know and make a statement at home on the road to let them know that like, yo, like you're not there. You ain't ready yet. The rain is supposed to be really, really bad today.
Yeah.
I think there's flood warnings there in that space. So I think like, you know, obviously for the runners, I think that does a lot. Obviously you have I don't want to say the 2 most mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, but 2 of the more dynamic runners, you know, as far as someone having to bring them down one-on-one, and Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts in a game like this right here, where I think we've done this long enough to know that these type of bad surfaces and bad weather environments tend to favor the runner. So I think like, you know, low key, it kind of, oh man. We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. I think maybe it's I wouldn't classify it as Cena's farewell retirement tour. I would classify it more along the lines of like a Roman Reigns, where he only shows up to the big events. That's it. If it's not a big event, he ain't showing up, and we're trending towards the big events. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to take the Eagles in this space, man. I just think it's too much for them. It's too much physicality for the Bills on that end of things. So, yeah, man, that's what I'm saying is that right there. And if it's a close game, right? I think obviously like the Eagles are actually they're 21st in the league for average margin of victory, 9.6 points. So like they know how to finish out a game. But man, the two most dynamic running backs in the league playing today, or I shouldn't say dynamic, but James Cook, James Cook, and and Saquon, like I talked about, Saquon 120 in 2 of his last 3 games, scoring a touchdown. And this is after the first 13 weeks, he only reached 90 yards 1 time. So Barkley leads the NFL with 63 carries and 332 yards since week 14. That's the second most. So we talked about Tony Pollard. We talked about Saquon Barkley. Like, hey, man, like this is one of those things where you kind of have to zoom out and you can't look at like the big picture, like where they're ranked at for the season. Like you got to break this thing down into, week by week increments and see what's been happening. And, it's slowly started to happen for Saquon.
Yeah. I think, boy, I do like an Eagles upset in this spot. But man, like, I guess it's my intuition going with the Bills for some weird reason. I know they suck against the run, and I know it's going to be rainy today, but I think you talk about someone that has to prove something. It's like this Bills team, like, for as good as they've been, they've also been like, I feel like definitely times we're watching the games and they're just like pretty flat offensively. If James Cook doesn't get going, it's like some of these other pieces for Buffalo just doesn't really show up enough. So I think in this spot against the Eagles, like Josh Allen, for instance, like even though they won the game against Cleveland last week, it was like, what kind of performance was this? Especially for people who had him, you know what I'm saying, in semifinal matchups for fantasy. But I'll say this, like, I think the Bills are going to get this one here. They're at home. They got to compete for the division still. The Eagles don't have as much incentive in this spot to, like, prove the haters wrong, in my opinion, because they've made the playoffs already. They have the division. They're hosting a playoff game. So it's just basically, I feel like Buffalo, they know they have to keep on. They have to keep on for the AFC because, that's where it goes. But in terms of, like, this game and how it goes, I just think Buffalo, just like this is a weird feeling. I feel like Buffalo's going to take this one. And I think for the Eagles moving forward for me, like, we don't really know this Eagles team still after all these weeks. Am I right about that? Like, I feel like their identity was like last year where it's like they want to run the football and stuff like that. But I feel like Jalen Hurts, like, as a passer, like, there's just times I'm like, you have regressed. If there's still windows, I feel like you're just afraid to throw through. It could just be me, but I'm watching some of the game tape of Jalen Hurts, and I'm like, look, like, yeah, I think it's a must-win for the Bills today, Haywood. I just think that it is, for sure. He talked about your hat. Where can I get that hat? Because it's definitely dope. I was like looking at it, but it was like kind of tilted, and I was like, oh, okay, now I see it. So, the fancy football shit. But in terms of the spot, like, I just think Buffalo gets it done at home. I think for the Eagles moving forward, it's like Jalen Hurts has to prove himself as a passer. If they're going to go back to the Super Bowl, that path has to go through, the Eagles passing the ball a lot more. I think in this spot, obviously, is going to be more rain, right? So we're going to be running the football still. But that offensive line, things have to gel for the Eagles because it's not the same Eagles team I feel like we've seen, obviously, versus last year. But even up to this point, it's like the offensive who's the offensive coordinator's name? I think he's got to go for sure. He's absolutely trash.
But hold on. Because, like, everything that you're saying, like, as far as, like, Jalen Hurts regressing as a passer.
Yeah.
Like, all right, like, all right, okay. But
Okay.
like they're 10-5. And I think like the thing that like, and they're in the number 3 seed, like for the playoffs,
Yeah.
they still have an
Yep.
opportunity to get to the number 2 seed. Like,
Yeah.
no, like they're not the best, no, they're not the best team in the NFC record wise. But
So
like
you feel like the criticism is going too far, you think?
I think so. I think so. Like the one thing like about Jalen Hurts, like in like if you paid attention to these interviews and paid attention to the interactions with this guy,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
bottom line is this: did we get the dub or did we not? And we have
Right.
seen
Yeah.
plenty of quarterbacks win Super Bowls that haven't been all world passers.
Of course.
We've seen it. So I just think I think this is like they might have people exactly right where they want them, thinking like this isn't a very good football team, and they have some warts and this and that, and next thing you know, man, we're looking up and the Philadelphia Eagles are playing in the
The
NFC
Super Bowl, baby.
I'm gonna give them the NFC Championship because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this, right, and I'm just looking at quarterback. That's it. Sam Darnold, we've seen what happened with him in the playoffs. No knock on him. My guy, Caleb Williams, this will be his first time going to the playoffs. Bryce Young, if they're able to make it to the playoffs, this would be his first time. Brock Purdy, that's a problem. Matt Stafford, that's a problem. Like, so half of the field, like, this would be their first time getting there. So Jalen Hurts already has, a couple of levels up, on a couple of these guys, man. Like, the only guy, like, you really can't put him over is a guy like, I shouldn't say can't, but like, his equal in this space would be Matthew Stafford. That would be his equal in this space. So like I think like they're right where they need to be at, man. Like they're in the playoffs, like they're in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like they're going. You look at them from like a health side of things, like they're not like grossly banged up or anything. So like I think they play this week and maybe next week they don't play their starters next week, or maybe they play them for a quarter or a half. But I just find it very difficult to believe that in a game like this one today, where they can send a message, because again, you don't know, like we don't know, like we're saying the Bills don't belong, but we've seen crazy shit happen. What if this could be a statement game to say, if we see you again, this is what it's going to look like and this is what it's going to feel like. So I don't know, man. I think this is just a statement game for the Eagles. I know the Bills have something to play for. Having something to play for and making a statement are two different things.
Yeah.
See how it goes, man.
I guess I kind of feel what Hay was saying is very accurate.
Yeah.
It's like, I do think it's very wide open. Like we talked about last week, it feels like if Buffalo doesn't get it done, just like the feeling in the air, if Buffalo doesn't get it done this year, it's like you had every opportunity and every path to get there. And there's no, like we talked about, the guys have been kind of clogging it up for you for the last like 7-8 years. They're really not there right now. No Mahomes, no, unless Lamar sneaks in somehow. There's no Burrow for the playoffs. Like, there's just no excuses. So, but yeah, do you agree? Like, so like, I guess just to answer this question, I'm not sure who I'm taking yet. I'll figure it out when everything crystallizes for the Super Bowl. But I'm like, how is just like, I just feel like there's other teams that could definitely get there. And it feels like it's one of those anomaly years that may happen. Like, could Denver get there? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, Denver, Houston.
Like,
yeah.
Not before last game, the Chargers potentially, but I don't know.
I still think like the Chargers are going to do Charger things, but like that's still a tough team because like it's Herbert's. It's his non-throwing hand that's broken, and I think like a lot of character on that team. I agree. Like I do like with Haywood. I do think. I mean, I just named 3 teams in the NFC that like I think like are there that could make a run at it. And you got to think like you just mentioned like the Texans, the Broncos, the Patriots. Like as much as it pains us to say that, right? Like they have just as good of a chance as anybody does. So it is wide open. Yeah. So I don't. If I had to pick right now, I think obviously everybody's sexy trendy pick would be the Houston Texans. That would be that's the trendy pick, and like it's kind of hard to go against it the way they've been playing, for sure. So yeah, like you said, man, we'll have to see how everything shakes out.
Definitely. But okay, broken down all the games. Yeah, I already know what time it is. It is time for next prop show. We in the building. Got core 4 bets for week 17. We have some bets that we're gonna go back to because they're still in good spots. So core 4 bets for week 7 is as follows: Brenton Strange over 3.5 catches. Talked about it earlier. Colts defense is very susceptible, second most to the position. So I talked about. I'm just planting my flag on Brenton Strange today. If you have him, you start him, and he's going to lead you potential championships. 1, maybe 2 touchdowns potentially, but I'm not betting that. Just betting the catches. Tyler Shuck over 220 or more passing yards. He's been an animal. Literally just been in the zone lately. So we're riding that hot hand. Titans are a pass funnel defense. We talked about that earlier. And they're definitely a team that Shuck could definitely do this against. Alec Pierce over 30.5 receiving yards. This line is way too low. Like, we know Alec Pierce can get it in one play, but it's definitely too low in a competitive environment. Even though the Colts are eliminated, there's still a division matchup. And I do think that Alec Pierce can get this in one shot. Last for the core 4 bets, Chase Brown over 83.5 rushing receiving. Talked about earlier, like the Cardinals have literally allowed this consistently. So Chase Brown in a spot where, not much play for it, but Chase Brown, he should bring it home for some of y'all in championship games today. So definitely going to take the prop on here. And then I got Jalen Coker over 35.5 receiving yards. Carolina is going to have to throw it home. Jalen Coker has been hot covering this line for us lately. So we're going right back to that as well. And then last but not least, if I got Tyler Shuck, you know who else I got? Chris Olave, baby. Over 60 receiving yards or more. Look, Chris Olave and this Saints team been hot. Guess what the Titans play a ton of? Cover 4. And we've been nailing this the last several weeks with Chris Olave and Shuck. They love playing against cover 4. Chris Olave annihilates cover 4. So we're going back to the well on that. And that will do it for next prop shot. Let's get it going. 9-7 last week, so we'll look to bounce back from there. But again, still looking pretty good on the year if you've been following along. But absolutely looking to get money for y'all. Hope Christmas went well. I hope I was able to contribute to that because we've been out here doing our thing. Johnny behind the scenes with DFS and my props. Like, yo, we the best tag team, baby. But that being said, no more excuses for Bills Mafia. You know what I'm saying? It really isn't. It's time for them to definitely buck up. I'm not taking them to win the Super Bowl. Like I said, I'll probably kind of wait to see how things crystallizes still because the NFC, like there's a lot of contenders like we talked about earlier. Like the NFC could potentially have a lot of people that teams that could definitely get there. But yeah, definitely Chase Brown is money. He might go out Bundy today.
Okay, baby. Okay.
I love that, yo. He might go out Bundy. Oh man. That being said, we have over 200 people watching. If you're on X, please go and like the video after the show. Please, yo. Begging you. Please. So we can keep on giving you guys this fire content, yo. If you're watching the replay, please do. Oh my gosh, please do it. Tell all your friends and family about us. Your favorite fantasy football homeboys. Johnny, you know what time it is. Any final thoughts for the people before we let them go?
Obviously, good luck to you today in your championships. I'll tell you, if you are, I'm going to make this plug. If you are a fantasy commissioner, please don't be a dirtbag. Get everybody paid out, ASAP as soon as you possibly can. So that way, everything is good to go for you and everybody for next year. Make that a priority for sure. That's, it's one of the things like, definitely take a great deal of pride in for sure. DFS wise, man, good luck to you today. Obviously, props, man, for sure. And if your team is still hanging around the playoffs, man, let this be a good one. I think we've been really, really lucky to have like really good football, playoff quality football games coming down the stretch here.
Yeah.
So we've been really lucky in that space. And man, it's almost over with, man. We got probably like another 5 weeks left of this, and then we gotta hang out and wait until August, wait until the draft, wait until free agency.
Yeah.
Be a best ball junkie, like, yeah. So, yeah, man, good luck to everybody today for sure. Except for all those 5 and 6 seeds out there. I want to take a moment to tell y'all, I don't like any of you. I love you, but I don't like you today. All you 5 and 6 seeds, because you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be there, and myself is included. I got a number 5 overall seeded team, shouldn't be there. 5 and 6 seeded team shouldn't be there today. I'm showing some love to the number 1 and number 2 seeds. I'm doing something different today.
Oh, man.
Everybody that grinded it out and crushed it all season long, I'm giving you all of my love and compassion right now. And I hope something positive. I hope something positive happens for you today. But you 5 and 6 seed teams, I hope y'all go down today. It's just that simple. That's it. Don't like you, but I love you.
Don't like you, I respect you. Yeah, look. We only got so many shows between us, you know what I'm saying, for the season. It feels like it went by like this in a way. Some weeks it went by like this. Other weeks we're like, yo, man. But shout out to my guy Johnny, because he's always here with my road dog here. Much appreciation for you, dog, as always. Shout out to our people, you know what I'm saying, Haywood, Rob, you know what I'm saying, the people that have been consistent with us here, like, yo, y'all make the show rock, you know what I'm saying, like, you keep us motivated to keep on doing these and giving out good advice when it comes to season long, when it comes to DFS, when it comes to props, like, we appreciate that for sure. We got so technically 2 more shows left in 2025 after today. One tonight and then one tomorrow. And then yeah.
No more waiver wire shows.
No more waiver wire shows, you know what I'm saying? Just So just gonna be talking about football tomorrow. But that being said, like, look, just a final thought, man. Just thank y'all for being here. We appreciate y'all every week. Whether it be you're liking the video, whether it be sharing it with other people, whether it be just just a constant love whenever we speak to y'all, like Dustin, Tip, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know where y'all are. So we appreciate y'all for bottom of our hearts. But that being said, yeah, look, go win your damn championship, bro. Go use all the advice we've been giving you all year long and go win your championship. So that being said, Johnny, myself, we'll see y'all this evening. We're talking about Sunday Night Football, and we out. Peace.